Hey guys, my name is Kendrick and welcome to ENFP Mail. Today I get to interview Charles. So, hey Charles, welcome man. Good to have you here.
So, what's going on, man?
Hey man. So yeah, I think you said you just woke up. So if you're a little bit groggy, I completely understand. Um, Charles, you are an ISFP. Um, and Dave and Shan said that you are double masculine.
Yeah, they ghost typed me apparently.
Yeah. And originally when we first spoke on Facebook, you said you are sleep, consume, play, blast. But I think
Oh,
after watching a little bit of your videos and just watching what you do in general, it seems like you consume a lot of stuff. So I think you're actually consume first. What do you think about that?
I might be. I'm probably just a typical consume, sleep, play, blast. That's a standard run of the mill ISFP, I guess.
Yeah. So you're consume, sleep, play, blast, the standard ISFP, except you're double masculine, which is, that's more
Yeah.
more unique, I guess. You don't really, I haven't really met a lot of double masculine ISFP, so you definitely stand out in that aspect.
Yeah, what's funny is Benjamin thought I was masculine, feminine, because I don't know. He thinks I have the masculine FI and the feminine PE, but I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go.
Why did Benjamin think you have masculine FI?
Probably because I just have strong values and I'm very unyielding in them, I guess. But I don't know.
Are you
But
are you very sensitive as a person? Like, do you
on the inside, yes, it's good to tell by looking at me.
like? I mean, like, if you watch like a sad movie, is it easy for you to cry, for example, or like?
Uh, I never cry outwardly. All my emotions are inside.
Oh, I see, I
I
see.
feel, I feel everything deeply, but it's only on an inner level. I don't really show my emotions much. I don't really know how to show emotions much.
I mean,
They're
like, if
more
you if you were by yourself, like, there's like, let's say there's no one in the room or whatever, like, would you show your emotions if you're by yourself, or is it just still inside?
a little, but for the most part, it doesn't come out a whole lot. It's very inward.
Gotcha. And
But
you're popular, I guess, because Dave, I think, gave you a shout out a while back for the ISFP guy who likes to play the guitar. Um,
yeah, that caught me off guard. I guess he's been following my channel for a while.
yeah.
But I was typed as an ISFP actually through Crystal Star Castle. That's where I found my type out. Mike's group.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Any chance you can up your volume a little bit? I can have a time hearing you.
I was typed as an ISFP through Dr. Mike's group, actually, Crystal Star Castle. That's the first time I found out because he invited me because I was watching his videos. He thought I might have been an NF. I thought I was an NF, but it turns out I was.
Oh, so Mike Budria did it for you.
Yeah, he invited me to his group, and it was very, it felt like going to a secret club. So
And
that's
then,
how I learned. That's how I learned my type.
so it was Mike who said that you were an ISFP.
Well, it was his group. He was on the fence. He's like, you're either ISFP or maybe you're an INTP, but I think he landed on
Yeah. Oh, that would make sense because you're a musician, right? So, you know, I think
Yeah.
ISFP, and you're very auditory. Like, you're good with sounds and music, right?
Oh yeah, I learned by ear and stuff like that.
Yeah. Um. So, w- w- what about your SE? You have masculine SE, right? So, masculine extrovert sensing. So does that mean you're very obsessed with gathering things?
Not really. I don't like a whole lot of new anything. I I like collecting guitars because there's like sentiment behind it. But other than that, man, I don't really need something shiny and new or anything like that. Just a lot of people always want change, or new this, new this, new this, but I'm just not like that.
I see. I see.
I'm
That
a
makes
minimalist, really.
okay. Maybe that's why they thought you were sleep first then, because, you know, the gathering is not your obsession. It's kind of like just living in your internal world. And if people mistype you before as an NF, or even you thought you were an NF, I mean, your internal world is NF, you know, FI and NI is NF, right? So do you always feel like, you know, you want to make the world a better place, or do you feel like, you know?
It's more like I just have an imaginative inner world is what it really means. I daydream and zone out a lot, and as a kid, I had a huge imagination. I don't know, it's an escape from reality because reality can be so harsh.
Yeah.
It's not that we don't want to make the world a better place, but I think people try to coin terms and temperaments. But for NI to me, it's just kind of understanding the deeper meaning behind everything that happens to me. We're trying to understand what's really going on a deeper level. It's also just kind of how I know things before it's coming. I can kind of see the patterns, you know, not like it in any kind of way, but I can just kind of see, you know, or get a gut feeling, you know, or it's the vibes I get off of things, you know,
Yeah.
or it's my imagination, if that makes any sense at all.
So you said that you can kind of see what's about to happen, because your audio is a little bit wonky right now. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, I can sort of see things, sort of. It depends on what it is. Like, I'll just get a feeling and be like, I'll be thinking about somebody that I hadn't seen in a while and be like, I'm going to see that person soon. But I don't know when, but I have a feeling that they're going to reemerge, and they do. And I'll bump into them somehow and be like, oh, I think it's coming.
Gotcha.
But basically, NI just wants to understand the deeper meaning behind everything that happens. You know, what is really going on? You know, what's the real meaning behind these events, et cetera, et cetera.
So it sounds like you're using your NI quite a bit. Like you might use your NI more than your SE actually.
Yeah, I have a love and hate relationship with SE. They say your auxiliary function is like your parents, so therefore you got to be responsible for it.
Yeah.
And the tertiary function is a lot more optimistic, which does sound about right because I love SE, but I hate SE at the same time. Like, I don't like superficial SE where, you know, like ESFPs, not dogging on all ESFPs, but from what I see with ESFPs, they want the nicest everything. And if you don't have the nicest everything, they try to like dog on you. And it's like, dude, life is more than just about money and stuff.
Yeah. So you're always looking for like the deeper meaning in life then.
Yeah, like, what does this mean? What does that mean? Like, I listened to Lord of the Rings audiobook, and I listened to Left Behind audio dramatization, two completely different stories, but I saw the parallel theme, you know, the good versus evil. I saw a lot of the same parallels, you know, like Frodo in Lord of the Rings. He's kind of like the Christ figure, sort of, you know. He's there to redeem Middle Earth and destroy the ring, and I don't know if most people pick up that kind of thing, but my AI just kind of put it together. Now, in the moment, AI doesn't piece it together. It does it after it ruminates.
Sorry, you cut off there for a second. What was the last thing that you said?
NI doesn't put it together in the moment, though. It's got to ruminate. You know,
Gotcha.
once it ruminates, it sees the deeper theme, and it's like, oh, that makes deeper sense. I get that now. I see the overarching theme behind everything.
Would you say you consume more or you ruminate more? Because it sounds like you're doing both equally. That's why it's really tough to figure out if you're, you know, consume first or sleep first.
I'd say they're about equal. I probably consume and then I analyze it. That's probably how it goes. I probably consume it
Yeah.
and then analyze it and try to figure out what it means, blah blah blah, you know, etc.
But your NI is really good. So, you know, like it for me, it seems like a lot of ISFP who are not jumpers would have a lot more trouble using their NI, you know, like the NI is not something easy to learn, right? Like, and you seem to have pretty good command of it. So, you know, that like, it almost tells me you're slightly like maybe like a sliver more like sleep before consume.
It might be true. Well, it's not that I will be an I. I'm in my head so much that I just kind of, I guess it comes natural. I mean, I'm not an INFJ. It's not going to be nothing compared to their NI.
Yeah.
They're like a sage, like,
Yeah.
I still have SE for sure, like when I type people, I can sometimes type them pretty quickly because I'm picking it up in the moment. But NI will put together the bigger framework, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I've been told by quite a few people that my introverted intuition is quite strong, and I'm impressed with that. Cause I'm like, I don't know how I did that, man. It just kind of comes out.
Yeah. I think, Charles, it's way too obvious that you're using your NI to kind of disregard it as not your savior. Like, I mean, we've only been talking for a few minutes, and it's, for me, you're already using a lot of NI, like a lot of, FINI, like you're talking about your inner world, right? And like, how you connect things, and and you're using a lot of abstract explanation too. So I definitely think you're sleep consumed. Like, maybe just a sliver, but it's there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, at work I do listen to music all day. Usually I like the same albums because I like
Yeah.
stuff. I like knowing what I like, but I do have Google Play. Every album on there is an album I like, so I will go through phases where I'll just put it on shuffle and it'll just play anything at random, but it's stuff
Yeah.
it's not random stuff. It's albums I like, or there'll be moods where I'm like, okay, I'm in the mood for this particular record today, so I just want to hear this band today and nothing else. I go through phases. You know. Now, when I was younger, I think I sucked at it. When I was like a teenager, I didn't focus much on the big picture. But as I've gotten older, I really do see the big picture a lot more. But I think it's because when we're young, we're still developing. But I'm 33 years old, so that would be about the age that your tertiary function really starts kicking in.
Right. So it seems to me, though, that your SE is actually what you develop, not your NI, because like your um just because your NI just feels so natural. Like when you talk about your NI, it just feels like it's like you do it all day, right? Like FINI, like sleep is something that you do all day. You live in your internal world. You like to listen to the same music, the same album. You're not obsessing with the new, like with SE, right? Like new fancy gadget or new fancy clothes or new shiny object. Like you're not focusing on that at all. Like you're not obsessing with it.
People grabbing me for wearing clothes I've had since high school.
Yeah, there you go. Like if you were really like a lead SE, you would that would be unacceptable, right? So the fact that you do that, like
Yeah.
it's definitely means
Oh,
that your SE is it's almost like your third. I mean, it's not your third function, but it's you kind of skip over it to use
it's
NI
just
first.
second. I need to be more responsible with it. Let's put it that way. I get lazy sometimes. I don't know why. Probably tiredness, anxiety, depression issues. But they call it your parent function, and I agree. Your auxiliary is your parent function. Because it's about giving a good experience to people. It's about taking really good care of your physical self. It's about looking nice. It's about playing your instrument right, which I do that part right. It's about a lot of things, and I'm not always that responsible with my SQ like I need to be. It's about getting people out of their comfort zone. Which, when I'm in the mood, I can be like, hey, go to the bar and let's do karaoke. It's not so bad. Everybody's such a team, so it's fun. Let's just have a good time. But at the same time, I'm not always in that mode. If I have any kind of weakness, it would be the SE and the TE, because for me, my introverted functions are more optimistic. My extroverted functions are not as
Hey, dude, any chance you could get a little bit more light? Like sometimes it goes completely dark and I can only see your eyes.
Do you see me now?
Yeah, I can
Come
see you
on.
good, but like when you talk, you back up a little bit sometimes, and then like it becomes completely dark, and then I don't even see your face
Uh,
anymore.
I'm a ghost.
Yeah, yeah, your ghost.
How
Or
about now? Do you see me better now?
well, now
I
I
get
do, but like sometimes, like I said, when you back up, like I can only see your eyes, and it's like like it's shining, so you kind of look like a wolf. Like,
Nice. That's awesome.
yeah,
Since I just woke up, I'm still sitting in the dark because I don't like a lot of light. I don't know
yeah.
why. Once I get more woken up, I like light, but I don't like a lot of light.
Okay, no,
Yeah. I don't want to be so dark you can't see me though.
yeah, I can
Need
barely see you. Um, oh, what about your extrovert thinking? Do you feel like, so Dave said that extrovert thinking is like a tribe function, like what works for a tribe. Do you have issues with the tribe? Like, have you ever gotten a tribe tidal wave where that tribe got upset at you for being too into your own world and maybe being a bit more selfish? Um, have you gotten
I
people upset
mean,
at you over that?
it's more like I just hate criticism. I don't always want to hear criticism. I take things too personally. Uh, I'm, I am self-above tried because most situations I want them to benefit me, but I do care about people as well. But TE is a lot of things, and I think people misunderstand it. It's also about organizing your external environment, which I suck at that. But I'm also, very self-absorbed to the point to where I have to remind myself the planet doesn't revolve around me.
Yeah,
So that's another thing. I think another TE thing is, in the work environment, they try to tell you how to do your hair or your beard or whatever, and I just don't want to hear it.
yeah,
In all the bands I've been over the years, I've always preferred to be the main songwriter without consulting. Oh, do y'all like this? I'm more like, here's the song, let's play
yeah.
it.
What do you do for work, by the way, Charles?
I'm a janitor. It's kind of boring, but I do like the I can work alone. I just don't like the job. I've been doing it for so many years. It's easy. It's just monotonous. But the part I do like is I can listen to music all night, podcast stuff, because I get to work by myself. You know.
Um, so I have TE like you, and the way I use TE is a little bit different from you. Like the way I use TE is more like let's say I'm planning a vacation with my friends or family, then I would ask everyone, okay, hey everyone, what do you so let's say we're going to I don't know, let me think of a destination. Let's say we're going to um I can't think of any place right now. Let's say, I don't know, Thailand. Let's say we're going to Thailand, let's say. And then so I would ask everyone, so okay, hey everyone, what do you guys want to do? So maybe one person will say, hey, I want to go to the beach. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go to the beach. What about everyone else? Like, oh, I want to see some temples. I'm like, okay, temples. Like, oh yeah, I want to eat some street food. I'm like, okay. Then I basically, what I do is I take what everyone wants to do, and then I add my own personal, because I'm a double decider, right? Like, so what I want to do, and I want to make sure that we all get to do what we want to do, so everyone's happy. So that's kind of how like I use my TE. So I wouldn't just blindly make an itinerary um, for everyone. I would ask everyone firsthand, because I want to know directly what they want to do also, and then that's kind of like how I would use my TE. And then once the itinerary is finished, then we're gonna go execute on that. Go to each of those places. Go eat all the street foods, whatever, and then that's kind of like the basic gist of how I would use TE. So have you ever done anything like that before?
I'm not sure. I mean, when I need knowledge on something, that's how I use TE. Like if I suck at knowing about what's wrong with the car,
Yeah,
like I heard somewhere that if your function is pretty much a dead spot, it's up to other people to do your function. Like a friend of mine's supposed to help me pick out a car. Not so much I don't know what style I want. I know what style I want, but it's more like I don't know anything about mechanics. I need knowledge on what is actually a good, efficient running car that's going to have good economy gas. I don't know any of that stuff.
yeah.
It's in the ISTP land, and I don't know anything about that.
Do you have any ISTP friends that you kind of consult with?
Oh, I have one, but I know two ISTPs. One of them is more artistic, like I am, and into music. I
Yeah,
thought he was a healer, but it turns out he's just got bad SE grip. And
yeah,
the other one's kind of robotic, and he doesn't really fix stuff, but he could be obsessed with taking things apart. But actually, the guy helping me pick out cars, I can't tell if he's ISTP or ISFP, but he's definitely ISP for sure. But he likes to fix stuff. He likes to fix guitars. He likes to fix cars. He likes to work on things,
yeah.
to me that seems more ISTP,
Yeah,
but
it
I
does
don't
sound.
know.
It does sound like ISTP.
But he's
What is it like for you to hang out with other, IP types? Because you're both like super self-above tribe, right? So is it cool when you hang out with those other people with other IPs, or do you prefer hanging out with EJs?
I don't know, man. I don't know too terrible. Hold on. I don't know a lot of EJs. The few EJs I've talked to, though, I've always clicked with them really well.
Yeah,
Uh, I've always gotten along with them well. IPs are cool because we just kind of get each other.
yeah,
I also like ENFPs because y'all are pretty fun people.
yeah.
I don't really do ESFP very well. That's a very hot and cold energy, but ENFPs are kind of a comfortable energy. I don't know how to explain
What? Yeah, it seems like since we started the interview, you have like you've been seeing a lot of like more not so positive things about the ESFPs. Like you seem to have a beef with the ESFPs. Like did
it. Yeah.
ESFP burn you before or something? Or
Oh yeah, they have actually. They have quite the. It's a long story. Just the ESFP. That and I don't like when the ESFP says they see something, they see it one way, and they're not open to another perception.
yeah,
Like I know an ESFP that swore up and down he was an introvert. I'm thinking, no, you're not. You're just private, and you
yeah,
do so much. They crash and burn, and you think you're an introvert. I didn't say that to him, but that's what was coming to my head. If I
yeah.
had to use Dave's system, I guess you could say he's lead play because he's one of those guys that just goes, and then he burns himself out. And he's like, well, I'm an introvert. I'm exhausted. I'm like, no, you're just an extrovert that doesn't know how to turn off the gas.
So you got exhausted and you thought you were an introvert because you were exhausted.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah,
He thought he was an introvert because he just keeps going, and then he crashes and burns.
yeah.
And then he needs to spend a day at the park or something.
So I'm gonna guess you don't have very many ESFP friends. Most of your friends are other types then.
Yeah. Well, I mainly just hang out with my band, really, which is just a small
What what
group.
what do you think is the type of your band members?
I've got them. I've got most of them typed. Bass player is tricky to figure out, though. I'll be honest. He scores his INFP, but I actually think he's an SP like I am. The guitar player, the other guitarist, the guitar too, he's the ESTP. The drummer Chris, who helps me with car stuff, is either ISTP or ISFP. He's one of those two. He's definitely in E-polar. He can't come up with possibilities very well at all.
Yeah.
I, his interaction style is very informative, though, which makes me think he's more of a feeder because he's not very direct. And ISTP is very direct. But so I think he's ISFP, and then Mike, the vocalist, is an ENFP. And I think that covers everybody. My last band before this one, though, we were all introverts. Courtney was an INFJ. The drummer was ISTP.
Yeah.
Tim, the guitar player, was ISTP. Canyon, the bass player, is a ISFJ. So everybody in my last band, the band had an INFJ consciousness to it for some reason. It just kind of
So
didn't work out.
do you feel like your band is more balanced now that you guys have like more extroverts instead of all introverts?
I think so. That's a good question. I have to mull over that. This band feels more comfortable than the previous band. Like my band Exalt the Throne, I love our music, and I still miss that band to this day. But it feels like it was more in the INFJ consciousness, which is not very good for ISFP. Actually, that's not a consciousness we connect with very, very well. I agree with Dr. Mike when it comes to terms of compatibility. Dominant intuitive with dominant intuitive, dominant S with dominant S, auxiliary S with auxiliary S.
Yeah.
Because in my experience, people that are auxiliary sensors
Yeah.
connect really well. Like I can get along with ESTJ very well. long as they're not barking orders, they're actually really cool. I can get along with ESFJs for the most part pretty well. I can get along with ISFP really well. I can get along with ISFP very well.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with him on his system on that.
What about dating? When you were dating, do you have a girlfriend right now?
Nah, I haven't dated in a long time.
But when you did, what was the type of
ESTP, and it turned out to be bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it might not be that case with all ESTPs. This girl was just unhealthy mentally at the time.
So it must. So you're saying it's not her type. It's just like the person is probably.
Yeah, she's a lot cooler today. We're friends again. She's a lot more mature. But I've liked ESTPs because the first girl I liked was an ESTP, but it was still not quite the perfect energy. It was very, the circuits weren't firing in all the right places.
Which type would you say, like when you met them, you felt like, oh, this is the right energy?
That's a good question. Honestly, and even though people dog on SJs all the time, there is a girl that does like me right now. She's not in the picture at the moment. It's a long story.
Yeah.
But when things improve for her, we definitely like each other. She's an ESFJ, and she just really likes talking to me. She's a metalhead and a Christian like I am.
Yeah.
But we click like really well.
Well, they did say that like the ideal partners of ISFP are ENFJs or ESFJs. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I like FE Doms a lot. I like FE when it's dominant, but I don't necessarily like it when it's the auxiliary because it's a lot stricter. When it's the parent function, it's like pointing its finger at you. But FE dominant is more optimistic, and I see that actually. But the FE and the auxiliary function, it definitely feels like FE parent. I would agree with that description. Pointing its finger, you follow these social norms, it's a lot stricter. But FE in the dominant function is a lot more optimistic, so it's a lot more catering to you. I don't know how to explain that really. It's just in my experience. Because I haven't, I know two INFJs. One I get along with really well because the dude is like 40-something.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine through Crystal Star Castle. We text and we type people all the time, and he drives out to Texas and we hang out like once or twice a year. But when we do hang out, it's like for 8 or 9 hours. And I said, well, you're one of the few INFJs to get along with. He's like, well, I'm in my SP subconscious. He's like, I'm almost 50, so I'm embracing more of my SP. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Because the other INFJ, I won't give out her name because I respect her privacy. The one I was in the band with a couple of years ago, it was like we're on two different planets, man. We just couldn't connect really.
Charles, can you talk about your blast? So blast is your worst animal or your fourth animal. Has that gotten you in trouble for not using enough blast?
Well, it has two effects. I'm either very passive aggressive and it won't say anything, or because it sucks so bad at blast, I ramble. Because apparently rambling is a form of not having blast, right? That's what I've read on the forum.
Yeah. So you have a tendency to ramble, you said.
Instead of getting straight to the point, which would make sense. ISFPs are an informative type from what I've read. We give you lots of information, but we don't say anything very directly. Everything we say is very cryptic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even when you were explaining things earlier, you were using a lot of metaphors and whatnot. It's not like it's almost as if you weren't using ST at all. Like you were talking like an INFJ, you could say, or like an INFP.
Yeah, that's why I thought I was INFP for a long time, but apparently I stick out like a sore thumb, and I'm a very obvious SP. So,
yeah, you are, man. There's no doubt you're a very obvious SP. Um, but your inner world is very INFP. Like even the way you talk about like stories, like Lord of the Rings, or that's it's very INFP like. So
Oh yeah, I love fantasy, man. Lord of the Rings is definitely my favorite story, and I love Star Wars too. Like, but Lord of the Rings is always going to be Star Wars.
so
But
you like
both,
the medieval kind of theme.
oh yeah, I love the whole good versus evil. You're going on this epic voyage to slay the dragon, so to speak.
Yeah. What about Game of Thrones? Do you like Game of Thrones?
I've been meaning to get into that, but I haven't had a chance. I don't exactly have a TV. I
Oh,
watch everything on YouTube or what is it, Netflix. But
yeah.
I've been meaning to check out Game of Thrones. I've heard it's good, but I don't know. Lord of the Rings is where my heart's at.
Do you live in the US or
Oh yeah, Texas.
Texas?
Yep.
Oh, do you have where in Texas are you from?
I live in Dallas Fort Worth.
Okay, so but you don't. It doesn't seem like you have the thick Texas, like the famous Texan drawl, like the Southern drawl or whatever.
Nah, I sound a bit more Midwestern, I think. I don't know why. It's just kind of how it happened.
Yeah. Uh, I think I asked you all the questions, Charles. Oh yeah, there's two questions I need to ask you. So first, so they said that your double observers have problems with pain. Do you feel like you avoid pain, like emotional pain or physical pain?
I don't like emotional pain. No, I hate feeling uncomfortable, and I'll avoid uncomfortable situations if I can.
Can you speak up a
But
little bit? Because I think this is important, what you're saying.
yeah, I hate emotional pain or feeling sad or uncomfortable, and I try to avoid situations that feel that way, or I will steer a conversation in a direction that keeps off of a topic that will annoy me. And physical pain, yes. I went paintballing a couple weeks ago and I hid and I shot people, but I barely got touched. I hit people, but I hid strategically and nobody hit me.
Yeah.
Well, I got hit 3 times, but barely.
So it sounds
But
like the physical pain is not the main area that you avoid. It sounds like emotional pain is the number one area that you would avoid.
yeah, I don't want to feel uncomfortable or depressed or talk about. I don't want somebody to bring up something that's just going to annoy me, unless it's something I chose to bring up. I don't like a lot of criticism. I don't like a lot of uncomfortable conversations. Granted, sometimes you have to have those to resolve the issue,
Yeah.
but they do make me uncomfortable. Yeah.
Do you see any benefit to experiencing emotional pain, or you don't see any benefit to?
Yeah, I mean, if you can grow from it, if the conversation had value and you grew from the experience, I guess. But it's not my cup of tea. I'm not saying life's about flowers and daisies, but in general, I just want to be comfortable and feel, good and not feel emotionally turmoil because I already got so many emotions going through me at once. Like I can be happy and sad at the same time. I can be depressed, and then all of a sudden I'm happy again, and then I can be depressed and happy simultaneously, and it makes no sense to me because, like, when you got so many emotions running through you, you don't know how to I don't know how to explain it, but like I have a lot of emotions, good, bad, indifferent. It's all very nuanced. But like when you live in your emotions, it can be a beautiful thing, it can be, and it can also be a terrible thing because we experience things on such a deep level emotionally that we can't really explain it to anybody. You have to just live there to understand.
I think
Like
have you seen that movie Inside Out?
I
The
have not. Is that pretty good?
Yeah, the movie because I was just googling it right now because you were telling me that sometimes you would feel give me one second. Inside Out. So you said earlier that sometimes you would feel happy but also depressed at the same time. Sometimes sad and joy are one thing. So the movie Inside Out, it talks about the inner world of this girl, and basically I'm not gonna go spoil the movie for you, but like the basic gist of the movie is like you can't just have one emotion. You have to have a range of emotion that you feel, and you can feel joy from sadness and vice versa. like there's no just one emotion. Emotions are together,
Yeah,
and I think you should watch the movie because like I'm the same as you. I use FI quite strongly, and when I saw that movie, I thought it was pure genius. Like it goes into depth of like how emotion works, and I think the people who didn't think the movie was spectacular is because they probably didn't have FI or they didn't really understand the deeper layer of someone's emotion. I thought it was a masterpiece of a movie. Like when I saw it, I was like, my God, this is like the very definition of self-awareness, or like, you know, understanding what how emotion happens in your internal world, which it was literally like a movie about emotions in the internal world.
that's really cool. I bet the girl in the movie's probably an INFP or something. That would probably
Um, what? I don't know what the girl in the movie is, but she definitely has Savior FI. So anyone that has Savior FI could be the main character. So ISFP, INFP, ENFP, even the people that you don't like, the ESFP. Like I think just one of those types would have that.
yeah.
So they said that double observers like yourself have a relative balance between chaos and control. So does this mean you're pretty good at like self-discipline, or would you say you're pretty bad at that? And or would you be balanced with also chaos? Like when something bad happens, you're pretty much chill with it. Like it's like, okay, well this sucks, let's go fix it, and then whatever.
It just depends on the circumstances. All very isolated experiences.
Sorry.
It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
My type is called a control type according to Lyndon Barris, but all that means is we move really slow,
Yeah.
which is very accurate. I am the fastest worker. I work really slow at my job. I walk really slow. I do everything well except for driving. I'm a slow person. I don't know, man. Like some things really bug me, some things don't bug me. It just depends on my mood that day and what's going on in my head. Like when my actual car died a few months back, I mean, I got it replaced. I didn't really freak out about it as much as I thought I would. I'm like, okay, my car is completely screwed. So the next day, I met up with Chris and B, and we went looking for. I said, well, I need a car. I need one today so I can get to school tomorrow. So we got on the internet and started looking through articles, and we spent the whole day finding a car, and we found me one. So I wasn't freaked out, but it was just one of those, okay, this car is dead. I need to replace this thing. Let's do this. Let's make this a thing. So
Yeah.
I had to sell something, unfortunately. I had to sell one of my guitar gears, but I got it replaced. So I did that, and then my dad helped me out, and they helped me out. We put all our money together, and we looked up a bunch of cars and made the phone calls, and I had a car within 24 hours.
Whatever you just described right now is, I think, Dave's worst nightmare. Because like he always freaks out about like, the printer not printing, or like you said, the car breaking down. Like someone, I think that someone that's more of an IJ would freak out over that stuff. Like my sister, she's an INFJ. She freaks out so hard when like, she needs to get her car in for an oil change. Like I think she didn't get her car in for an oil change for 6 months because she just doesn't think about like this this kind of
That's
stuff.
not good. If you do that, your car
Messes up her
will have
car. What's that?
you do if she does that again, her car will stop having compression and then it won't run.
Yeah, but like I'm just saying, like a lot of people who might be N dominant, like INFJ and INFJ and I and TJ in particular, whatever you describe, like it sounds like to you fix your car without too much stress. Like, yeah, it was annoying, but whatever, you can fix it. You did some research, got it done. It's all is good.
It could be stressful in the moment, but it wasn't killer. I was surprised that I handled it as well as I did. I'm like, okay. I was calm about it the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. You were calm about the whole time, while like people who are IJs would be like, like freaking the hell out. Like they would be like, it would be the absolute worst thing that could ever happen to them. Well, for you, you're like, what's a big deal? Like it happens.
That was just like, if it's broke, let's go fix it. It's because my thought, because the ISFPs were, SEs in action function. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, this thing is not working. Well, let's go do something about it.
Yeah. Like you make it sound so simple, right? But to them, they're like, if you tell that to them, you're like, why don't you just fix it, right? Like, and then they're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, when I was younger, I mean, it depends. Some things I'll freak out on. Some things I won't. When I was younger, I got mad at my amp for not working properly, and I beat it. And I'm like, you fucking piece of shit, run! Why do you make no sound?
Yeah.
But now that I'm 33, I don't really do that. But now my dad, he's an IP too, but everything freaks him out. The fry freaks him out. If something doesn't work, he freaks out. But he's not really all that healthy. Everything pisses him off. If somebody pisses him off, he's mad at that person. If his car don't start, he's mad at his car. Everything pisses him off. My dad is just, everything is chaotic to him, and everything fucks him.
Everything pisses off your dad.
He's an ISFP too, but he gets mad at people. He gets mad at his car. He gets mad at his phone if it doesn't work right. He gets mad at everything. So I don't know. The control scale, it really depends on the person. Because my dad, my point is, my dad freaks out about everything. It doesn't have to. It's not one said thing. It's just if it can piss him off, it pisses him off. Whether it's a person or his phone doesn't operate. Because it's funny. He'll answer his phone and he'll be like, "Damn it, I pressed the wrong button." I'm like, "You got to be smarter than the phone, Dad."
That doesn't make you laugh when he's freaking out about all this stuff.
Yeah, because he'll press the wrong button, call the wrong person, or he'll close out a text message.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, it's a phone, Dad. Why is this freaking you out? I'm thinking maybe Dad and Dave need to have some
Yeah.
conversations about. I don't know.
Well, you know what, man? I think it's because you have feminine NI. So like when you're working on something and then like let's say your car breaks down, it doesn't really interrupt you. Like you can just go with the flow in that sense. But I think people, especially people with like masculine NI, like they're so focused on like what they have to achieve in the future that when something in the present, like a car breaking down, stops them from working on that thing that they need to work on or they want to work on, they freak the fuck out, like you would say. Like they just can't handle it. It's just too much. But for you, it's like, just chill, just fix it and go back to whatever you're working on. But to them, like they can't accept that. It's like, no, I can't. No, I need to work on what I need to work. This freaking car's busted. This is unacceptable. And so it's just different.
My dad has lost hours of sleep because he's freaking out about he's been having a lot of car issues.
Yeah.
And my car, my previous car, it's a long story. There was some credit issues with my last car.
Yeah.
He's freaking out. And he's like, take care of your dead car, please. I'm freaking the hell out. I don't want them to come after you or you go to jail for it. I'm like, Dad, I'm not going to go to jail because that's paid on that. It's dead. They know it's dead. They're just going to come, to shut him up. Well, plus also, I need to be more responsible anyways, right? I finally took the car to the dealership and I'm like, yeah, I want this. The thing's a piece of shit and the engine's fucking fried.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I'm like, all right, then. And I called my dad. I said, okay, I talked to them. They said nothing bad's going to happen. They'll just eventually collect the thing. Nobody's going to jail, Dad. Stop freaking out. But he's an IT, but he freaks out. He's got the tribe freak out. He's got the introvert freak out. Like I said, everything freaks him out. So I don't fucking know.
Charles, are you? Like just on all your description right now, it sounds to me like your dad's an ISTJ who is self above tribe. So he might come across as an IP, but he sounds to me like based on the freak out that he's having freakouts over objects, and that's like a very IJ kind of problem to have. Like he sounds like an ISTJ to me, just based on your description.
He's too sensitive to be an ISTJ. He's like me. He's an ISFP. Like, if you saw the two of us, we act too much alike.
Yeah, but dude, one of my close friends is an ISTJ, and he's so sensitive. Like, he acts tough on the outside, but if you really know him, he's so sensitive. He gets butthurt so easily.
Yeah, well, I know my dad I know my dad well, too, though. Like, we're almost exactly alike, personality-wise.
Okay.
Like the way we look, our body language, our tone of voice, everything. But I get what you're coming from because I'm thinking, Dad, I'm an IP like you are, but you freak out. But he freaks out over everything. Like
Yeah.
everything drives him nuts. No, I think if my dad were ISTJ, he'd probably be a lot more efficient. He's like me. He's very.
Well, I mean,
I,
my
I don't. I know he's TE inferior. I don't know how to explain it. He's definitely TE inferior.
well, because like my rationale over it is that he sounds like he's SIFI, the jumper type, and with feminine SI and feminine FI. That's why he's freaking out about all this stuff all the time. Like one of my close friends is an ISTJ, and he has feminine SI and feminine FI, and he's so sensitive. He's always mad about something, always pissed off about something. He's driving, he's angry. Something breaks down, he's angry. He's destroying things all the time. Like the way he described him sounds like the way my friend acts. Like someone that's feminine SI and FI. But like you said, your dad better than me, right? So, but it's just like what I can, what it
Yeah.
seems like.
Oh, he's a typical SP, but I get where you're coming from because from the outside looking in, thinking about everything that freaks him out,
Yep.
half of the shit that freaks him out is stuff that doesn't freak me out. But knowing him as well as I do, he's definitely an SP. He's a guitar player. He loves music.
Yeah.
You know, we've he's I'm like him. I think what it is he just hasn't had a very healthy life. He's been through 2 divorces. He's just been through a lot of crap. I'd say he's just a very unhealthy ISFP.
Gotcha.
I could have him read ISTJ, but I doubt he would agree with the description. He read ISFP and I also read him. I also read him INFP, and he kind of agreed with parts of it as well. So
Yeah, INFP is possible too. So Charles, I have 2 final questions for you. So first one is, what kind of message would you give to other ISFPs who's having issues with the tribe? Because it doesn't sound like you're having issues with tribe people. Like you seem to you seem to like people. You seem to get along with people. So what kind of advice would you give other ISFPs who might be having trouble with people?
I mean, I'm not saying I don't have my issues. It's just the reason I can get along with people is because they don't stir up conflict. It's maybe that's a bad thing though. I'm very passive.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to explain that, but I guess people think, oh, because you're an IP, you're not going to get along with them. It's not that. It's just I'm very selective about who I want to get along with.
Yeah.
I'm very picky, I'm very guarded. My advice, I don't know what kind of advice to give, really. My thing is I'm very passive. I'm a pacifist. Maybe that's why I don't have a lot of tribe issues. I mean, I've had tribe issues over the years. The biggest things that stress me out have been the things people say or do.
Yeah.
But what it is, I don't like to stir the pot, man. I just kind of hide. I don't
Gotcha.
know if that's why I don't have the major tribe issues because it's like, okay, I have an opinion on this thing this person's saying, but if I say something, it's going to cause a lot of discord, and I'd rather just hide. I'd rather
Just keep it to yourself.
yeah, I don't know how to explain that, I don't know what to call that. But IPs, well, we're a background type, so that's probably what it is. Have you heard that about the IPs they're known as the behind the scenes?
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard of that. Yeah. Not always, but I've heard of that.
I think that's what keeps me out of trouble with the tribe is, well, if you're behind the scenes and you're hiding from everyone, you can't get in any kind of trouble.
Yeah. Last question for you is, I have types, I have functions that you don't have. Like I have NE, I have SI. Do you have any questions about those functions that I have that maybe you want more clarifications about? Like how does NE work, or how does SI work, or?
I don't know how any of those work, honestly. I believe in the 8-function model, but those
Yeah.
are like backstack functions for me. Like NE is supposed to be my blind spot.
Yeah.
So I don't know how NE works, honestly.
NE is kind of passive. Like it has to be connected to another function for it to work. Like it's either NEFI or NETE, right? So if it's NEFI, then I'm kind of like going inside my own internal world and kind of like sometimes I'll create like a story. Like it's really weird. Like a fantasy. Like for example, like a week ago, I was taking a shower and I don't know where I came up with like a skit inside my head of like fruits talking to each other, you know, and I would make a video of like this fruits talking to each other, and there's like a punchline and everything. Like it's very like Family Guy, like like in Family Guy they'll be talking and in 1 minute they'll go to another scene that's completely unrelated and they'll make like a small parody out of it. So like that came in my head out of nowhere, and there was like a complete storyline. And like I said, I don't know how it came there, but it was definitely like there was a connection to the idea that I wanted to present on a video, that somehow wanted me to create like a short skit on the side just to make it funny, like a humorous side skit. So that's like NEFI, like, you know, kind of creating stories inside my head. And then seeing the connection also. But then there's also NETE. So with NET, like, you know, like that's more like me researching, right? I'm researching information. And then after I research it, I'm going to go execute it on a TE. So that's pretty much NE. That's how I use NE. But SI is very straightforward, right? It's like reading a manual, right? Like a procedures manual, like step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this. You know, so it's like the best way to describe how I use SE is like, it's like cooking, you know, like I follow a recipe, you know, step 1, put the oil in the pan, you know, step 2, you know, like let's say I'm making fried chicken, you know, like cover the fried chicken with I don't know, like flour and like egg and, you know, like some seasonings like paprika or whatever. And then that would be step 2. Step 3, you know, put in a frying pan. You know, that's kind of like what SI is, right? Step by step by step.
Oh yeah. Are you guys hypochondriacs, like Mike said, when y'all get the grip? Is that a real thing for ENFPs? I also joke. There's also a joke online that says ENFPs would rather wear shorts than pants because they feel restricted. Is that true? That's kind of the joke I've seen about ENFPs.
What does hypochondriac mean?
Hypochondriac means you have a symptom and you think you're severely ill because you're not in touch with your body, so you think you're really sick.
Oh, sorry, you say the last part. We think we're severely ill because.
Well, a hypochondriac is somebody will have like a minor symptom and they think it's a lot worse than what it is. Do you relate to that, or is that more something that Dr. Mike was expressing?
Well, I'll if I feel a little bit off, then I get paranoid. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna get really sick, you know. And then I start popping like vitamin C and like all sorts of like immune system boosting supplements. Like I'll just go like all out on that stuff. It's pretty crazy, you know. Like sometimes I'll eat bad food. Like I'm pretty lactose intolerant, but I like to eat ice cream. So after I eat ice cream, I would like before I eat ice cream, I would drink glutamine first because glutamine coats your stomach lining. And then after I eat ice cream, I would pop some probiotics. Like there's definitely a weird paranoia around it.
Oh yeah, and for me, TE is a grip function. So when I am really stressed, I'm just really mean and harsh and get pissed off and like yell and just like.
Charles, I think you froze. Charles. Okay, we'll give it about 30 more seconds, and if Charles doesn't come back, I guess we'll wrap up the talk. Okay, guys. Well, I don't think Charles is coming back. I think he froze, but I'll thank him after I finish recording this video. But thank you for listening to this interview, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.